Do it independent interest. No, when that's a cash out, so they just cash it out. No, it's not coming back to me. So mine is shut me down. So your guy can just go
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Sorry how close I am. Does that work? All right. I am. If you would like to tell us your questions, and you can type it in. Just let the lead of the young know. Give them just a moment so that the delay comes.
Can me and Jeff join the same one?
Sure. All right, can y'all hear me just fine?
My name.
Yes.
Hey, Jeff, you don't have the same one, okay?
Okay. All right. Good morning, y'all. How's it going?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so here's how this is going to go. Most of y'all know there's going to be a delay in the other room. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the question. You'll get a chance to give your answers. And then if one of them has a question, they're going to let us know, and we're going to make sure we add it in. Okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Take a moment. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you're from, what are you doing in life, and where do you lie with being a youth in society?
All right. I'll go first, I suppose. My name is Kaniza Carso. Where am I in life? Schooling. My perspective as a youth. One, I'm 24. Two, I've been around the youth for a really long time. I've taught. I've been teaching in the church, teaching at school, and I've been a mentor. So
Okay, I'll go next. My name is
All right, thanks, Kaniza. Go ahead, Diamond.
My name is Diamond Evans. I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I'm currently working as an esthetician at European Wax Center. And where do I lie in the youth? I'm 22 years old. And I've also been a mentor, and things like that.
All right, thanks, Diamond. All right, Evan and Jeff, tell us about yourself.
Hey y'all. I'm Evan Fewell, a freshman in environmental science major at Tuskegee University. I'm currently 2 years old, and I'm a part of the media team for the also the RBROTC program.
Welcome.
Hey y'all, I'm Jeffrey Blackwood. I'm freshman aerospace engineering major. I'm also part of NESB, and I'm currently trying to find an internship at Boeing, and I'm a part of Air Force RF 015.
All right, so we are here at the Golden Girls Remix, which is a retreat for women above 60 years old. And we want to give them a chance to ask you any questions that they may have. But before we get there started with their questions, do you all have any one thing that you would want to tell a woman over 60 to learn a little something more about you as a youth?
Um, go ahead.
I'll go first. Um, yeah, I know. I guess a big thing that I'd love to tell women over 60 about the youth is times have changed just a little bit. Like there's a lot of stuff like we know, like you all definitely know a lot more than us. Like y'all are definitely wise, but in a lot of aspects, like youth now, they mature faster. They're like certain things like come different, easier, harder, and like times have changed. It's not the same as it was back then, and so I guess being more adaptive and flexible towards the younger youth.
Yes, I would just to piggyback off of what Evan said. Yeah, just to be more a little more open-minded in that sense. Because a lot of things are different in different aspects too. It's not just like one specific category. So definitely just be more open-minded in general when it comes to the youth.
Okay, what I would like to say is relax. Your life is not over yet, so think of this time as and not a time to really relive the old days, but start new ones. Because you may have so many years ahead of you, and how do you want those to end? Well, hopefully be a little bit longer, but like, how do you want the rest of those times to go? So instead of focusing on us, um, kind of focus on yourselves a little bit more and give back in the ways that you can, but start living your lives in a different way, like you used to. Or like, when you were around our age, you had the whole world ahead of you, and you still have the whole world ahead of you. Not, just because you're 60 and above does not mean that um, you have to kind of watch everyone else's lives and monitor and, you know, in that sense.
To add, I would say be selfish, and not in a bad way. Just be selfish towards the things you want in life because your needs and hopefully they have been met, and it should be good to prioritize some things that you want, especially since you're already there. You are 60 years young, so that's what I would have to say.
That's great. So let me start us off with a question, then we'll open it up for their questions. What is something that you might have gone through that you felt it difficult to share with an older person? How could an old person approach that differently?
I feel like a lot of our elders have a lot of expectations that they kind of automatically open with. So whenever you begin to speak with your elders, they always have like the three keynotes that they hit on. education, relationships, and something else. I forgot. Or health, maybe. But it's those are like the key three notes that every elder that I know talks about. They come to you for conversations, they're gonna hit that note. I feel like for me, I would say disregard all of that stuff because yes, that's important, but that's not our whole lives. Um, I would appreciate if our elders would speak to us more in conversation style and not try to monitor. Like it's like a monitoring system. I feel like okay, I have to have an update all the time in regards to those things.
Yeah, I'd say for me, probably one of the hardest things I feel like going through life and being able to share with the elder or being wanting to share with the elder. I'd say one of the biggest ones is feedback. I feel like people like are really like they're really stuck in their ways, and so when they hear that feedback, hear like, hey, these are some improves that you can have. Like this is cool, but to make it better, I feel like they don't really take that too well, and so I say feedback is definitely a big one.
I agree with Evan. I think for me, also in that sense would be sometimes just listening. Like I feel like a lot of times elders are just so ready to give a response, and have, like an answer to give because they do have so much wisdom. And sometimes we just need you all to listen, to be a listening ear. So that's what I would say.
As youth, uh, I want to say for elders, I would say they can learn something from the youth. Now, I don't want to look like, I'm like high and mighty, but things are changing, right? And so our generation are now, we're getting adapted to new things. And so therefore, I feel like elders can learn a thing or two from what we're going through or, what we're experiencing, especially because, it's a little different from what they experienced. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Evan, you're over there smiling. What did he say that made you laugh? What did he do?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nah, I can't take him seriously. So
All right, go ahead,
yeah.
Kalaz.
Oh, another thing that I would say is I would like for like the elders to identify their own projections because a lot of the times they project, and in the teaching moments it's like they're projecting their own things that they wish they would have learned around our age, except for seeing us where we are now. And it's like I appreciate your words, but you're projecting what you wanted to know at the age that I am that you wished you knew at this time. And you don't know what I know just yet. So instead of automatically projecting your own expectations and your own teachings, get to know us as individuals and then see where we need you. Um, because we need you still, but don't project on us. We're our own persons. I think that's what I would like to say too. I feel like that the 60 plus could learn have a flexible personality in mind too.
That's great. That's great. All right, let's move it on to the next question. What is the hardest thing your generation deals with?
Hmm.
I think the
I'll
hardest
start off by
thing,
saying the hardest thing I want to say are, go ahead.
okay, I'll go. Okay. I think the hardest thing our generation deals with is what they like to call imposter syndrome. Feeling like you have to be something you're not, basically, or living up to certain expectations. That's just really hard to me. It can be a lot on a person, especially with social media. Social media has such a big influence on our lives because like we basically grew up in social media and with social media. So definitely imposter syndrome for sure. I have a lot of friends that talk about it, and I definitely think it's like a heavy burden on this generation right now.
I agree
Yep.
with Miss Evans. I also think that some things that we deal with is meeting expectations that have very high value. We end up getting nervous and beating ourselves up about it, especially when we don't meet that expectation. Um, and that's just one thing. Like, uh, take any time. Also, we also being um, what is okay. So like trying to be perfect when no one's perfect. So it's like we're trying to quite literally be perfection when we need to work on, progression, and progression, builds to become, something more.
Like that. I would
I would.
also say a big thing that you good, you good.
Oh
They got
no.
cut off. Go
Okay.
ahead. I'll add them back in.
Okay. I feel like okay. I would say emotional support. I think that a lot of our generation, from what I've seen as a mentor, as an RA, as a teacher, is that emotional support. A lot of the youth don't know how to process and manage their emotions, and sometimes that overflows to how they feel about themselves, how they feel like they're being perceived by the world, and how they perceive everything around them. So I think one way that the older generation could help is allowing them to have room to voice their emotions and voice how they feel without any feedback that deters them from doing that again. So if they have a place where they can just fill that out and have a safe space emotionally, then that will help them with their confidence and also help them with identifying who they are and where they have a place in this world.
Evan, are you back? Do you want to try to finish answering? What's the hardest thing your generation deals with?
Oh no.
No, you're not. All right, let's go on to the next question. And Golden Girls in there, tell us, what are your questions that you have for these young people? As they're coming up with their questions, I'm going to ask you this. What do you need from the Golden Girl generation?
Um, I want to see joy. Me personally, I would like to see joy because a lot of the times I just see a lot of women do for others, and that's great and all. But to be a woman myself and to be aging and looking forward to those ages, I don't want my whole life to be a life of service. So if I could see more joy and more happiness from them that is their own, not attached to anyone else, I think that would help for me at least.
I love that. I love that. And I just have to agree, honestly, like I definitely get that. I have a lot of older women in my family. I was raised by an older woman. My grandmother is 72 years old and she still carries so much on her plate. So I definitely would agree with that. Putting yourself first, prioritizing, like, cause like I feel like my generation, like mental health is such a big thing, but I feel like that doesn't mean that it isn't necessarily a thing for the older generation either. So prioritizing your mental health and your emotional and physical health, like all around, I think that would be awesome. Self care, have some self care days.
Yeah, heavy on the self
Yeah.
care.
Mhm.
Feel like we're judging, and how can we improve that? So they said sometimes, you all said, sometimes you feel like you're being judged. So the question is, how can they not make you feel like you're being judged? And what does that look like?
I think in the sense of meeting people with understanding, um, by showing that first you understand where they're at. Like if a youth comes up to you with a concern or they see something that may be of concern to you personally, understand, try to have some understanding for where they're at in this time, where they're at in this generation, and where they're at in in the economy too, because it's hard out here for us. So for us not to feel judged, I would say lead with understanding, and you don't have to have feedback at the first conversation. You know, you can have feedback at the next conversation. So maybe hear what they have to say first and let them express that by giving them room to voice their emotions and feelings and all of that and all of those things. And then maybe when you see them again in the next conversation, if you want to continue that relationship, then find a way to keep in contact and then come back with that feedback, because it's really I won't say weird, but that's the only word that's coming to mind. It's really weird to get feedback from someone that really doesn't know you, that feels like they know you well enough to give you pointers on certain things. It's like, I understand, but where's this coming from? How do I know this is coming from a place of love and not judgment? So when you hear me out, you hear what I have to say, and then you come back to me, that means for one, I know that you're willing to put that effort on to make sure that it continues and that you're putting my best interest at heart, because you weren't so ready to be like, oh yeah, this, no, 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 no. But you came back and you had that understanding first. So for me, that's what I would say.
That's good. Anyone else want to answer that question? Diamond?
Kanasa is like hitting it out the park with these answers. That is so good. I definitely have to agree with that. Um, I think the most important thing, kind of like Kanaza said, is kind of just leaving that space, I guess you would say. Like just giving it time. Like sometimes an immediate response or immediate reaction isn't always necessary. And sometimes it is, like sometimes it is, but most of the time it can come across as judgment, especially if the feedback isn't necessarily like positive, or what although we may need to hear it, we may not need to hear it in that moment. So I do like what she said, just giving it space and coming back later and discussing it further then.
All right, guys, y'all able to join us? All right, so we'll move on to the next question. And that is,
I agree.
what is your opinion about expectations that might be placed on you by the Golden Girl generation? What is your opinion about any expectations that are placed on you by the Golden Girl generation?
Mm.
Chef Evan, you guys want to take this one away? All right. Okay, so um, expectations placed on us by the Golden Girls generation. I think to the point of seeing the joy that they have now and the lack of it, um, is those expectations coming place from a missed opportunity, or is this coming from a place of um, love? Of love, and is this coming from a place of like, I wish I would have done this when I was your age and in this time. So the expectations that they have is typically the same. Um, I feel like it's the general theme of like making sure you go to school, which is always going to be a theme for adults when it comes to children, so they can be successful. So I understand that point. Relationships and things like that. I think it's more so for me. I'm a community girl. I'm a community person. I love my community. Um, I think more of the expectation should be building a community around you instead of like the individualism that is often um, pushed. There's a lot of individual push to do certain things, and I personally don't appreciate that because if my community thrives, then I'm thriving. So it's kind of like more so if you help us to build a better community around us. Because if we have a better community around us, then we ourselves are going to be better people for it. And then those things will come along in life as they do naturally progress. But that's my answer.
To piggyback off of that, I think a lot of times for our generation, expectations can be perceived as projection in a way by the older generation. And I think what should be most important is like what makes us happy as individuals. Like, of course, we want to be successful just as much as they want us to be successful. Um, but I think it just matters, like, how things are said and how it comes across. I like what Kanaza was saying about like what's the root of that expectation basically.
Boys, do y'all have
Yeah, I
any
agree a lot.
comments? Go ahead.
I agree a lot. I feel like a lot of it is pers- pers- what you said, you placing it like living off of them. But I feel like a lot of it is also the opposite, where it's like, I don't want y'all to make the same mistakes we made. I don't want y'all to grow up the way we had to grow up and like be better. And so I remember growing up, I used to be like, no, I want to be just like you, and I want you to be better than me. And so I feel like that is a big part of it.
I agree with everything you said. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Go ahead, Kaniza, and then we have another question from the group.
Okay, one note that I would like to say is also expectation without support is meaningless. So it's like you can expect all these things from all these for the youth in your lives, but without the support to couple that, it's like, okay, thanks for the tidbit. Thank you for that expectation. And then it's like moving forward because beyond that point, it's like you have these expectations, but where is the support that goes with that? And it doesn't have to be like a fiscal support. It could be like, um, any type of support, mental, emotional, spiritual. Like it's just keep going at it. Um, I want you to achieve these things, and I want you to get there. And any way that I can help you get there, I'm going to. And that's all. That's don't put too much on your plate that you can't handle. And yeah.
That's good. That's good. So we have our next question. This came directly from the audience. They said, how or what is it that we do or say or don't say that makes you feel we're not supportive of you?
Mm. I won't say it's for me, I would say it's the lack of okay, a lot of adults do not allow us to speak. So they'll hear one thing and then they'll run with that and won't let the thought be finished out. So it's like you heard the beginning of it, but you didn't let me finish processing it or like finish it. Even if I'm processing it with you, let me get the words out first before you start to create a judgment in your mind or create an idea of like, oh, this is what it is before you start doing or start saying whatever you're saying. Because people are different and women are so broad, there's not a general theme of what people say, um, but what they do, I would say, is just giving that feedback and just leaving it at that. It's like, okay, well, if I have more questions, can I come back to you with that? If I need you for a little bit more time to help me with what you just, with the advice you just gave me, can I double back? Or it's just like, oh, well, you need to work on this. Go work on it. Uh, you know, run off with it.
I don't think that it may necessarily always be the lack of support, because sometimes I feel like the support could be there, but the way that it perceived could still come off as judgment, if that makes sense. It's like, okay, I know you're there for me. I know you support me, but I don't know. It's like still in the back of your head, it could be like, but are they judging me still because of this? So I think it could kind of go both ways.
Something just came to my mind. It's the trust that's there. Is can I trust that if I disappoint you, if I say something that
Mm.
upsets you, that I will still have the same level of care and respect in your eyes? Would you start to look at me differently because I say something that may rub you off the wrong way, or I may do something that may rub you off the wrong way? Um, I think that's really what it is, because if there's a mutual trust, because to know that, okay, I may have messed up here and I may have not been listening here, but does that mean that you're just gonna like, you did such a bad thing, this is horrible, I'm coming to get you, you know? No, 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 a scolding. Yeah, because there needs to be like room for growth and room for mistakes as well. And establishing that level of trust. That's why it's weird to have adults or like the golden girl generation to come up to us and give us advice and just walk away and have no idea who we are and like know where that's coming from or where those concerns or what we're saying is coming from, to just give us advice rather than just saying anything.
So here's the follow-up for that. Would it help if they were to say or ask if you need more time to process in order for it to work?
I think
Asking,
that would help a
yeah.
lot. I think it would help a lot if, um,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to understand
or
the
even if they were to
question.
say them,
Okay,
oh,
go ahead.
or even if they were to say, let me double back and get back to you on that. Um, that action, because then that would give us a hint in knowing that, okay, they're gonna take a minute, take a breath, listen to what I just said, and come back to me. And not with the general knowledge of like what they know, but specifically tailored to what I just told them. I think that's truly what it would be if you take the time to process and allow us to take the time to process as well.
Hold on just a second because they've turned to something different. So pause just a second. Let me go fix it.
Okay. Okay.
Ladies, we're back. Okay, they wanted you to finish it, but repeat what you were saying, just so it's clear. And the question is below. So then would it help if they were to ask or say if you needed more time to process and y'all were in the middle of talking about the answer? So please respond again.
Okay. Diamond, do you want to go or do you want me to go again?
I could go. I think we were both agreeing that it would help. Just to, after everything is said, be like, okay, well, do you need some time to think about that? Or, how do you feel about that? Or, just kind of a follow up with after the advice is given. Because sometimes, like, you guys are full of wisdom and the advice could be great, but sometimes it could be so much to process, in one sitting. Like, sometimes I think it will sit better or sit um it'll like settle better with us if we have the time to process afterwards.
Kaniza, did you want to respond again?
Um, yeah, I agree. I think taking the time to uh, have a tailored answer for the person that's asking you, because a lot of times the feedback is general anyway. So if you hear what I say and you understand me in the sense of the conversation that we just had, you will get an idea of how to respond to me. You wouldn't just give me a general answer based off like, okay, what you would say to any youth. You would have an answer for Diamond, because this is how Diamond responds to things, or this is how this is the energy that I was getting from her. This is the vibe that I was getting from her. Um, I feel like that would be better, because that also gives you time to understand the individual and see if that is a potential relationship that you can continue and that you can be a service to. But that's it.
I love that. And I think that kind of goes with the follow up doesn't make a difference depending on the relationship. And what you're saying is it makes a difference on the relationship and it makes a difference on the person. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there, unfortunately, are some people that just don't mesh well. And before you begin to, you have to like come into any space with a level of understanding, and stepping into a mentorship space or just an advice space or just any space in general. You have to have some level of understanding for the people around you, for yourself, and understanding, okay, am I going to be projecting right now in this moment, or am I going to be listening and hearing and then coming back? And that can be really hard when you see their similarities in stories. Like if you've experienced something that I've experienced, it's like it's really hard not to, think of yourself in that moment and wish what somebody would have done for you. Um, so I definitely agree. That definitely affects um, depending on the relationship, it affects it for sure.
Yeah, I agree as well.
All right. So the next question they ask, how do we support our youth without feeling like they're isolating us? So our Golden Girls are feeling isolated. So how do they support you without them feeling isolated by you?
Honestly,
That's
I
a good question. Go ahead, Diamond.
that is a good question. I kind of feel like that goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. Not putting so much pressure on yourselves. I feel like a lot of that isolation is probably feeling like there's like a demand on you as an elder to give us, your wisdom that you have and pour into us. And it shouldn't be such a demand, like, um, I think just we'll definitely come to you guys when we need it, because we do need you all. And I think that a lot of times it'll just come easier if it just flows
If
better,
we see that you're happy.
don't put so much like pressure on yourselves to feel like you have to, give out all of this advice all the time, or expectations towards us.
That's great. Kanisa, did you have any follow up as well? How did they
Yeah,
support
I
you?
Yeah, I would agree with Diamond. I think if we see that it's coming from a place of joy, like if we see that you're happy and enjoying your lives, because you don't owe the world anything. You don't owe anyone anything. You have done your due diligence. You have paid your dues to society. So um, we absolutely appreciate our our older generations, our elders. We actually appreciate them, but we want to see them happy. We want to see them joyful, and it would make it easier if we can come to you guys knowing that you're already happy within yourselves and in your lives, and not already dealing with so much, and then we're gonna pour something more on top of you, and then it's just gonna create more disappointment in your lives and more negative spaces in your mind and things like that. I think if we see that you're actively seeking life, then we want you to help us with our lives. But yeah. But if we see that you're sad, not just sad, but like if we see that you're dealing with a lot and that you already have these expectations on yourselves, and we can just, I don't know if the saying is still true, but young people can see a lot more than you think they can. And, the vibes, or like we can see the energy that you're putting out also. It's like, if we get that sense, it's like, oh no, we're not even going to open up. We're not even going to say anything because we're like, oh, we're not adding to that. It's okay. What you're gonna get from us is exactly what you need to know: school, work, and all that. Yeah.
That's good. Evan and Jeff,
Yeah.
welcome back to the party. The question is, how do our Golden Girl generation, 16 and older, how do they support the youth without them feeling like y'all are isolating them?
So honestly, this one they probably won't like this answer, but you got to come to them at their own time. Like honestly, y'all can't rush anything. Y'all can't push anything. No matter how much y'all like, hey, let me come talk to you. Let me come do this. End of the day, if the youth wants to talk to you, they're gonna talk to you. If the youth doesn't want to talk to you, honestly, it's gonna be a hard battle to fight. Is that my nephew Deuce? I'm sorry, but but yeah, but but yeah, you gotta come to them at their own time.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I want to piggyback on what Evan said about coming to them at their own time. I definitely agree with that. However, I do want to say that they want to feel like you are including them into things. Like if they don't feel included, they're not going to feel like you want them to. You don't like, they're going to feel isolated. So therefore, you have to make them feel as if they're wanted to be there in that conversation, and that just comes with patience and time, while also a little bit of, hey, I'm here for you, and hey, and then it gradually will get better as it comes, because they're in their teenage year where they're maturing / figure out the immaturities.
And I will say a big part of that is respect. I feel like it's something people forget a lot of times, but respect is two ways. Like you can't respect one way and I expect them to respect you back. So I feel like if y'all want us to respect y'all, they also have to respect us and show us the same amount of respect.
And I cannot take it back off of that because that is a great point. Another thing that I always often hear from the older generation is that respect is earned. And I would just like to say it's not. It's something that should automatically be given and then taken away if there's something that's been done and have to be re-earned. It should be automatically given to anyone and everyone. Everyone deserves respect. No one has to earn respect from anybody. But if you do something that is disrespectful, then that's where I feel like you need to re-earn someone's respect.
I love that. I love that.
And that's it.
Yeah, that was good.
Sorry, I'm kind of walking back. I need to go to class.
What school do you go to?
A&T. Aggieland, A&T.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's Tiger Pride over
Where
here.
you guys at?
Tuskegee. Oh.
Hey.
I'm downstairs inside the game room.
Oh, are you? Oh, I'm passing the gym now. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We're in front of everybody. Oops. Hey, guys.
Just having normal conversation,
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Juice.
Hi.
How you doing? Oh, I
love
love
your
your car.
cartoons.
It's so nice. Aw.
All right, y'all. We're gonna bring it to a conclusion because I know you all only had an hour to give us. So thank you for the hour. Let's go with this. Give us closing remarks. What do you want to leave our Golden Girls with as they walk away from hearing your voice? what's one thing you would like to leave for our Golden Girls? When they walk out of here, what do you want them to stick with? Go ahead, Evan, kick us off.
Can
Um,
I go ahead and go
Evan?
first? I just want to tell them thank you. I want to be like, really, y'all paved the way, and even though like it's not really like all of y'all show right now, like y'all have not forgotten, y'all ain't dinosaurs, and so we want to thank y'all for paving the way, and also like we want to keep y'all here to guide us, like show us the rest of the way, like show us the cheat codes and the nicks and nannies we haven't really gotten into yet, and so thank y'all and keep helping us out. And I love you, Nana.
What about the rest of y'all?
I like what Evan said, because at the end of the day, you guys are at the root of it all. At the root of it all, at the foundation of it all, you guys are there standing firm. So just know that we see you all. We see you and we want you to rest. Take it easy. Relax. Relax. That's really the gist of it, is to relax and just to know that the kids are all right. We are getting there. When we need you, we know that you're there and we will come to you. But in the meantime, enjoy yourself. Relax, take some time for you, get some peace, and laugh a little. Yeah, that's it. And Casey is gonna be out in just a few minutes. I gotta go.
I agree. Just to piggyback off of them, thank you. Thank you. We literally would not exist without y'all. So thank you. The respect is always going to be there. Um, we love y'all. And like Casey is saying, I think the most important thing to take away from this is to take care of yourself. Like, take this time to just have some self care. Like, go to the spa. Whatever it is that makes you happy, like, do what makes you happy and focus on you. And we love you. We love y'all.
Go ahead, Jeff. Finish us
Um,
off. What are you
yes,
leaving with the Golden Girls?
to finish it off, I want to say, I don't want to reiterate, but I'm going to reiterate. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Again, we love you all. We want you all to know that God is with you all. And if you believe in God or whoever you believe in, and that we all respect you. And so, therefore, allow us to be able to lift some burdens off of you, because you all have been carrying so much on your backs and on your shoulders. So please put your trust, please put some thought into it, so that we're able to help you all. And that's pretty much it. Love you guys.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I see what you all are doing, and it's amazing. You've told our Golden Girl generation, thank you, rest, take care of yourself, do what makes you happy, lean on us, and remember you are appreciated. And that's what the Golden Girl Remix is all about. So thank you, my young people, for giving them this word. And they're gonna go take it and they're gonna mix it all into what they do, and hopefully they go out and they become better. Appreciate y'all. I love every single one of you all, and thank you for taking the time. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.